Welcome, everyone. I jotted down a few things to say today because I don't want to leave anybody out. The first thing I always do is write down to thank my wife, but today I think I want to thank God for the sun. Finally, it's been about a month since I've seen a sunny day, so let's start by thanking God. I also want to thank our hosts, Bear's Nest. Don, would you like to come up and say a few words as we start? Or,
sure. Whatever you're the mayor.
You're our host.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
On behalf of the 350 or so residents of Bear's Nest, can you hear me?
Yes.
And the board of directors of Bear's Nest, I'd like to welcome you, fellow citizens, here to Bear's Nest. We've lived here for, well, let me start here. My wife Joanne is someplace here, and she and I go back a long time. We've lived in Bergen County our entire life, and we started in Cliffside Park for 20 years, and have been here now for almost 20 years. And it's so interesting that Park Ridge and Cliffside Park have a lot in common. At one point, we thought Cliffside Park was the center of the universe. Every time we went someplace, people said, "Oh, you're from Cliffside." And the same thing is happening here now. We're so pleased to be part of this community, and we've tried to get involved more with community activities, which I think we've really succeeded at. Is Lynn Beer here by any chance?
No.
She isn't.
Okay.
She's not feeling well.
She's not feeling well. Okay. So anyway, Lynn was, when I first joined the planning board, I was on it for about 20 minutes. And I remember walking into a meeting one night, and Lynn said, "Would you like to be chair?" And I knew nothing about the planning board, and particularly being chairperson. So between her and Terry McGuire, I became chairperson 10 minutes later. It was a great experience. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. We're all glad you're here. If you have an opportunity and would like to just walk around and look at the gardens and all that sort of thing, please do so. We have some Park Ridge residents here, of course, who are also active in the community. Having said that, welcome, and I'll turn you back over to our mayor.
Thank you, Don. Appreciate that. I'd also like to thank Melissa Wright, who's running around here helping everything. She's the new owner of Peppercorns. Please go over there and frequent that place. She's donated the hors d'oeuvres and appetizers today, so thank you. I'd also really like to thank the borough staff who helped set this up. I mean, basically what this is today, it's a casual kickoff for a year's worth of events to celebrate our 125th anniversary. Mayor Mancinelli came in here, and now we're debating whether it was the 14th or the 15th, just to aggravate me. I'm convinced it's the 15th. He says it's the 14th.
We're always right.
But it's the 14th or the 15th, and the point is, we're going to celebrate in a year's worth of festivities. So periodically throughout the next year, we'll have a couple of fun events celebrating the great town of Park Ridge. One of the ones I'm looking forward to, in a couple of months, we're going to do a Taste of Park Ridge. We're going to bring, as we know, we have the best restaurants in the area, in the state, in the county. So we're gonna bring those restaurants together, and we'll have a nice gathering and celebrate our cuisine. So those and other things, and it'll culminate in at the end of the year with our gala. So exactly a year from today, we'll have a gala. We'll all get dressed up. We'll bring some of the old mayors back, dust them off, and have some fun. So I also want to thank our 125th anniversary committee. All of these events take a lot of work. Don Schwam, the host tonight, Barbara Martine, Gwen Party, Ralph Donnell, of course Liz Falkenstern and Julie Falkenstern, Bill Beatty, and Paul Wharton. We appreciate all your hard work over the last couple of months to get this thing going. Could we give them a round of applause, please? some dignitaries here, and I know Freeholder Sullivan has to leave for a Freeholders meeting, so I just want to have him come up. Tom is a dear friend of mine. Tom, since he's been a freeholder, I have an open line of communication to county government, and I can't tell you how important that is for a small town mayor. Every time I pick up the phone, Tom's on the other end, whether it's trying to change the speed limit in town or trying to find a grant or doing things like that. Tom's always willing to listen and help me out. So I'm honored to have you here, and Tom, come up and say a few words.
And if you can't get me on the phone, he just comes right down the hallway and work together, and he yells at me. First, I want to thank Holly Shapizi for allowing me to speak first. That's not a joke. The protocol is she's a higher office, but I do have to leave. I'm just here to say congratulations to Park Ridge. Thank you to the Bears Nest for hosting a great event. We have a few of these coming, Bergenfield, Marvell, a lot of the towns were all incorporated in 1994. I usually don't read the whole proclamation, but today I'm gonna, so Holly doesn't have to. So this is from the Bergen County Board of Chosen Freeholders. Whereas 2.6 square mile residential community of Park Ridge was incorporated in 1894 as part of 9 community area in north central Bergen County, known as the Pascack Valley. And whereas, north central section of Bergen County was settled by the Dutch and the Scottish during the middle of the 18th century, and the area maintains many structures, which today operate as learning facilities and museums. And whereas in the mid-1980s, Park Ridge undertook the reconstruction of major intersections within the borough and the restoration of the railroad station, originally constructed in 1871. And whereas the government of Park Ridge has been active in reinvesting in its municipal facilities to improve the quality of life for its residents. Today, Park Ridge enjoys an 11,000 square foot firehouse, expanded municipal offices, and police headquarters, an Olympic-sized municipal swimming pool, which you will not see me in, and a 12-acre pond in a park area, which is probably where you'll find it. And whereas the students of Park Ridge, I think this is very important, attended one of the top public high schools in New Jersey based upon SAT scores, the percentage of students attending four-year colleges, the percentage of students attending the most competitive colleges, and the percentage of students awarded major scholarships. And to our host's point, whereas many residents work locally in a significant number and make a daily commute to New York City, Park Ridge is centrally located. We can use center of the universe if you want. It's centrally located near the Garden State Plaza, Parkway and the Plaza, with an access to New Jersey Transit as a result. Park Ridge is a central location for people who work in New Jersey, New York City, and even New York State. So now, therefore, be it resolved that the Bergen County Board of Chosen Freeholders hereby declares May 15th, 2019, Park Ridge, New Jersey. Thanks again. I'm sorry I have to run, but I'm really excited to be here. Thank you very much.
We'll try to make this quick. There are a couple of proclamations. We're celebrating a lot of different events. I guess we can get right to our next dignitary. Holly, if you'd come up.
Good evening, everybody. And although Democrats and Republicans don't always agree, and the county doesn't always agree with the state, I am here to say May 15th is in fact the day. But it's my honor to be here as well tonight. And on behalf of the Senate and the General Assembly, I have a joint legislative resolution from Senator Cardinale, Senator Corrado, myself, Assemblyman Oth, Assemblyman DePhillips, and Rooney, who represent District 40 as well. And rather than read all of it, because some of it is duplicative with what Freeholder Sullivan said, I'm just going to read a couple of quick provisions. And whereas the Senate and General Assembly are pleased to salute the fine citizens of the Borough of Park Ridge, this date will serve as the official commencement of a year-long series of festivities that are going to take place at the Mayor's house. undoubtedly attests to the sterling reputation the borough has acquired over the years as a welcoming and desirable place in which to live and to work. Whereas Park Ridge has continually earned and is renowned for the many charms it possesses, from its status as one of the only 9 New Jersey municipalities to own and operate utilities that supply water and electricity to its residents, to the expansion of such needed amenities as its firehouse and public library, to the array of recreational conveniences, especially its cherished and protected wetlands that delight and attract people far and wide. And throughout its existence, Park Ridge has been effectively guided by numerous civic-minded women and men who have ignited the participation and commitment of countless others, infused their neighbors and constituents with the spirit of unity and a determination to always succeed. And so it is my honor today. Thank you, Mayor, for inviting me, and congratulations to the community.
Thank you, Holly, very much. We also have Congressman Gottheimer's staff member here, Catherine Best, here to read another proclamation.
Thanks, Mayor. I won't read the whole thing, and the Congressman is upset that he couldn't be here tonight, but he is down in Washington, D.C. It's a voting day. I'll just read the last part of the proclamation. So it says, I, Josh Gottheimer, United States Representative, on behalf of the people of New Jersey's 5th Congressional District, recognize the Borough of Park Ridge's 125th anniversary, and I'm pleased to honor Park Ridge's past, celebrate the present, and embrace our future.
The most important thing, we're here also not only to honor our town, but to our good neighbors here in the Bear's Nest. It's actually a busy year. I did a little research. On May 15th of 1894, our town was incorporated. But this year we're also celebrating 115 years of our electrical department. Tell me if that's wrong, but I did that off of the.
That sounds right.
And 95 years of our water department. It's also the 100th anniversary of our fire department and the 100th anniversary of the Jed Barker American Legion. So we've got a lot of celebrating to do. I think I'm up to it. I don't know how Ferguson is. So, the Bear's Nest community was gracious enough to have us here. They'll be celebrating their 35th year. So we put together a proclamation, and I'd like to read it. Whereas 2019 marks the beginning of the Bear's Nest 35th year since the first phase of the residential community was opened, and whereas the Bear's Nest has historical significance in that it was designed by Eleanor E. Pedersen, one of the only 5 female architects to have studied under Frank Lloyd Wright, and whereas the landscape design was created by landscape architect James Rose, considered to be in the forefront of modern American landscape architecture, and whereas the Bear's Nest was home of former President Richard M. Nixon, who moved there in 1981, and whereas the land upon which the Bear's Nest sits is of significant local historical interest to Park Ridge residents for the various industries cited there, including the Girl Scout camp, the Rose and Crown restaurant, and poultry farm, and whereas the Bear's Nest residential community has become an important part of the fabric of our community. And whereas, for all these reasons, the Mayor and Council wish to recognize this 35th year of the Bear's Nest. Now therefore, I, Keith J. Mishag, the Mayor of the Borough of Park Ridge, do hereby proclaim Bear's Nest to be a vital part of the Borough of Park Ridge and encourage all residents to take pride in the contribution that the Bear's Nest residential community makes towards the history and identity of Park Ridge. Thank you. Thank you so much. And again, we have a cross-section of politicians, Democrats, Republicans, and all of them are good friends. Holly's working with me on the issues that we're dealing with here in town in regards to affordable housing. Josh Gottheimer, I've never experienced a sitting congressman who'll pick up the phone and give me a call just to see how things are doing in Park Ridge. So I appreciate his friendship. I appreciate everything he does for everybody in Park Ridge. This evening is just a casual evening, so this is just a kickoff. I think we have some sheets, do we not, of some of the events? Did we bring those? Or we will post those. So if we could, if everybody could just grab either a glass of champagne. Okay, so if you would, everybody, you know, we've been through a lot, 125 years. We've been through 2 world wars, Korea, Vietnam. We're still surviving. We've seen industry come and go from this town. We just found out a new industry is moving into our Hertz building, so we're going to have new corporate members. So the future is bright, and let's wish Park Ridge another 125 plus years. God bless. Please, we'll be here for a while. Everybody enjoy. We have pictures set up of the history of Park Ridge. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Lori Fredericks with PKRG-TV, and I'm here in beautiful Bears Nest with our mayor, Keith Mishagna, and we're celebrating the history of Park Ridge. And my question to you is, what do you see for Park Ridge's future?
Oh, a lot of great things. We're in we've been in a transitional time in Park Ridge. People have been a little nervous. We're transforming our downtown to what is going to be, when it's done, a beautiful, vibrant downtown. We just got news that we have a new corporate partner at the Hertz building who's going to take over 100,000 square feet.
That's exciting. I just heard that. Wow. Congratulations on.
Thank you. It's something that we've been working on, and we're very happy to announce that they should be moving in sometime next month. So we're excited about all the new opportunities in Park Ridge.
Yeah. Well, it's a wonderful celebration here. Thank you so much for sharing that news with all of our PKRG viewers today.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
Happy anniversary, Park Ridge.
Yay! I'm here with Councilperson Kelly Epstein, and we're celebrating here at Bears Nest. Yes, so we're all talking about the wonderful history of Park Ridge. We've gotten some good news about new corporate headquarters people, and I want to just ask you, what do you see about the future of Park Ridge?
I see great things.
Yay.
The future in Park Ridge, of course. Having not grown up in Bergen County, and honestly not having any idea that this area existed, coming up here and living here for the last 15 years has been amazing, and I love this town. So I'm looking forward to all the great things, and I know that myself and the mayor and the rest of the council members are working really hard to kind of maintain the beauty and fabulousness of this community, and we're going to kind of continue to do that as we move forward. So I'm really excited about the future of Park Ridge.
Wonderful. Well, we are so privileged to have someone with your energy here.
Yes,
I feel privileged.
Yes, thank you.
Anyway, so thank you so much for sharing that with our viewers today.
Yes, thank you.
I'm here with Councilman Robert Metzdorf, and we're here celebrating Park Ridge at Bears Nest.
We are.
Isn't it beautiful here?
It's a beautiful day. Bears Nest is outstanding, celebrating their 35th anniversary.
Something like that.
And our 125th. So It's great to be here. A lot of good people are here, and Park Ridge is all about its people and the volunteers, like yourself, and like the cameraman.
Absolutely. Well, we're privileged. I'm so happy that we're celebrating the history of Park Ridge. I grew up here, and I wonder, from your point of view, what do you see in its future?
I'm a newcomer to town. I've only been here 22 years.
Oh, that's nothing.
What is his future? His future is bright. We're very lucky to have the governing body that we have in Park Ridge. There's a lot of good plans for the future of Park Ridge. We'd really like to make it a safe town, a town where people can go out on a Friday night and walk downtown in the new part of Park Ridge, where they might be able to bicycle around town.
That'll be fun.
But where it is safe. We're very concerned with Park Avenue and protecting the people who are currently going on Park Avenue, and the future will. So I think our future is bright. It's a town where I've chosen to live, and I want to stay here for a long, long time.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you for everything you do for Park Ridge, and you bring a lot of heart, because I think everybody can tell how much you care.
I believe in this town.
Yeah.
I believe in the people of the town, and it's all about the people who contribute. And there's thousands of people who really care about and help the town.
Right. Well, thank you so much. Let's
Thank
go
you.
enjoy.
It's always a pleasure.
All right.
Thank
You. I'm privileged to be here with our former mayor, Richard Mancinelli, who actually, when I was growing up here, and he was not that much older than me, was a councilman here. Anyway, thank you for speaking with us.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure.
I think that former Mayor Mancinelli has some inside information about this lovely place that we're here, Bear's Nest. Can you tell us a little bit about how this place came to be?
Sure. Well, back in, I would say, the mid-'80s, I was a councilman at the time, and the land was predominantly in its natural state. It was 182 units, and at the time, the council took a vote to redevelop the property, and if I remember correctly, about 120 acres became corporate development, and the remaining part became townhouse development. So when I ascended to becoming mayor back in 1988, phase one of the 3 phases was underway, and so we used to spend a lot of time up here in work boots.
I bet.
Because it was always interesting at having the approvals from the town and then making sure that the footings and the footprints were all being done accurately. But phase one was a huge success, and around 1993, 1994, somewhat of a dignitary moved into the Bear's Nest.
Yes, I was going to ask you, can you tell us a little bit about the most famous resident of this area?
Well, I share his first name, but that's about as close as I get to being as famous as him. But former President Richard Nixon and his wife Patricia moved into the Bear's Nest in, I think it was 93. And let's just say, not that Park Ridge needed to be put on the map, but that certainly put Park Ridge on the map. And more importantly, for the success of the Bear's Nest townhouse units, it skyrocketed. A lot of people who were interested in moving up here into the private gated community flocked up here after the president's arrival, and the value of the properties doubled in some cases.
I can imagine.
Which was a win-win because of the notoriety he brought to the town, and also as the values of the properties doubled, so did the rateables, and that was more income from us. We liked it because not too many of the residents moving in up here were bringing school children, because they were predominantly retirees who had 2 homes and would spend the spring and summer up here. So President Nixon certainly put the place on the map. I think one of my fondest memories of him was around Halloween time. I know he used to do this in Saddle River where he lived, but my daughter at the time was probably no more than 6 or 7, and President Nixon and his private security would allow access onto the roadways, and he would be out there handing out Halloween candy.
Amazing.
And
what a scene.
And it was surreal, because as a kid, everybody loved to have the Nixon mask as a Halloween mask.
Oh, wow.
And here he is as the President of the United States, and I had a lot of fun with him.
That's pretty cool.
He one time stopped me and said that he was going to run against me in 1995.
Oh, boy.
And that luckily didn't happen.
Yeah, luckily.
I'm not sure how that election would have turned out.
Yeah, I don't know. That would have been a test for Park Ridge.
But, it was a fun town, fun time, I should say. In 1994, it was the 100th anniversary of Park Ridge, and I was very honored to be the mayor at the time for the centennial. And here we are, fast forward 25 years later, a couple more gray hairs, and I just think it's amazing. I looked at the Centennial Journal the other day, and I was just shocked how much has changed in Park Ridge. And, the controversies come and go, but what are controversies today were probably controversies back then, but maybe not to the same degree. But overall, I think the most important thing about Park Ridge is the inclusiveness. I've always been a lot of pride about not only like you growing up in Park Ridge and getting the amazing education we did out of a small school system, but the diversity of Park Ridge and how inclusive everybody is, and whether it's bringing in the handicap housing project down on Sulak Lane and some of our developmentally disabled homes in Park Ridge. I mean, we always had our arms out to welcome people and try to work out sometimes thorny, difficult, emotional issues, but for the benefit of all in Park Ridge. So, happy birthday, Park Ridge.
Yes,
I guess.
happy birthday. Well, it's been a privilege learning about all this stuff, getting to speak to you again after all these years.
I know.
But anyway, so thank you so much for sharing
You're
that
welcome.
with our
Thank you.
viewers. Thank you.
you.